Welcome to Void Realities. If the night keeps you awake, let these stories of the universe guide you. Here, science is told like a lullaby, gentle and slow, so your mind can rest and your body can surrender to sleep. Why light has a speed limit. A flicker in the dark. The story begins with darkness, vast, silent and still. Then comes the first flicker, the spark that breaks the void. You trace the gentle history of humanity's relationship with light, from fire to starlight. The chapter introduces the listener to light as both mystery and guide. You begin in darkness. It is the most natural place to start, for darkness was here before you, before your kind, before the world took shape. It is the canvas upon which all things are drawn, the silent ocean into which every spark eventually falls. You close your eyes and imagine it stretching endlessly, a black so deep that it feels almost soft, almost welcoming. And then, as it has always done, light arrives. Not as a roar, not as a blaze that blinds, but as a flicker, a trembling glow, delicate and alive, slipping quietly into the dark. That first flicker is not only fire in a cave or a star glimpsed in the night sky. It is also the flicker in your mind when you notice it. Light and awareness, in their own ways, are bound together. One illuminates the world, the other illuminates your thoughts. For most of human history, your ancestors lived by that flicker. Before the invention of electricity, before gas lamps, before the idea of controlling brightness, there was only fire. A spark struck from stone, a branch lit in the forest, a flame tended carefully through the night. That fire was fragile, but it was also sacred. It meant warmth, it meant safety, it meant stories could be told in the circle of its glow, while beyond its reach lay shadows full of unknown shapes. Think of how different the world must have felt then, a world ruled by the rhythms of sun and moon, by the generosity or absence of flame. Daylight arrived each morning like a gift. Night returned each evening, not hostile but full of uncertainty. You can almost hear the whispers of those who once gathered around a fire, looking into the embers as if they could see something of themselves reflected there. Light became more than survival. It became a symbol. Across cultures, fire was linked with gods, with creation, with beginnings. To carry a torch was not just to carry heat, it was to carry meaning. Even the stars overhead, countless and small, were taken as messages. They were guides for travel, signs of change, reminders that light could bridge distance. Humanity's earliest science was born from watching those faint flickers in the night sky and trying to make sense of their patterns. The truth is, your relationship with light has always been intimate. You see by it, yes, but you also feel by it. Sunrise stirs your body awake, not just through habit, but because your cells respond to light. Sunlight enters your eyes, signals your brain, and shifts the clocks inside your body. These inner clocks, circadian rhythms, tell you when to sleep, when to wake, when to feel alert, when to grow drowsy. Even without thinking, you live on light's schedule. Consider how extraordinary this is. Something that moves across space at unimaginable speed still governs the quiet beat of your own heart and the rise and fall of your breath. Light is not only outside you, it is within you, woven into the fibers of your biology. You depend on it even when you do not notice. Yet light is also mystery. You may hold a candle, you may feel the sun on your face, but what exactly is light? A wave, a particle, a thing, or the absence of one? You may know now that it is both wave and particle, rhythm and packet, but for much of history it was unknowable, a puzzle that resisted answers. Ancient thinkers believed it might flow like water from the eyes, illuminating what you look at. Others believed it rained down like invisible arrows from the heavens. Only later did experiments begin to shape the truth. But pause here. Before rushing into explanations, let the thought linger in its softness. Light is at once familiar and alien. You see it every day, and yet it slips through your fingers when you try to grasp it. You can bend it through a prism, scatter it into colors, capture it with glass, yet you cannot touch it. It is always beyond reach, yet always present. This paradox, this gentle strangeness, is what makes light not only a subject of science but also of wonder. You can imagine it as a traveler, tireless and swift, who crosses the universe without pause. You can picture it as music without sound, vibrations that carry meaning through the emptiness of space. You can even imagine it as memory itself, a record of events long past, because the light from distant stars brings you stories from billions of years ago. But in this opening moment, what matters most is not how light is measured or explained, but how it feels. Imagine a world without it, no glimmer of fire, no shimmer of dawn, no soft reflection in water, no sparkle in an eye. That emptiness would be absolute, a silence without form. Now imagine how a single flame pierces it, not overwhelming but gentle, the smallest interruption to darkness, yet enough to give direction, to give comfort. The flicker becomes more than a glow. It becomes a companion. It draws shadows, and with shadows shapes. It defines edges, carves out space. Light does not simply appear, it gives meaning to what it touches. A stone in darkness is just weight. A stone in light becomes surface, color, pattern. Your ancestors must have felt this deeply. They lived close to the rhythm of light and dark, and so their imaginations stretched into it. They told stories of fire stolen from gods, of stars born from divine sparks, of dawn as a daily rebirth. They saw in light the promise that knowledge could expand, that fear could shrink, that possibility could grow. And you too even now feel something of this. You may not depend on fire the way they did, but your body still leans into sunlight for energy, still softens into night when it fades. You may flip a switch and flood a room with brightness, but deep inside, your ancient self still remembers what it means to sit at the edge of darkness, grateful for a flicker. This is where the journey begins, in the simplicity of light breaking darkness. From here the story will deepen, moving from fire to starlight, from human eyes to cosmic distances. You will begin to see that the flicker you hold in your imagination tonight is connected to the vast radiance of galaxies, to the delicate truths of physics, to the very fabric of reality. But before those truths, before the language of science, let yourself rest in the quiet presence of light itself, not as an answer, but as a question, not as knowledge, but as wonder. Let the flicker remain what it has always been. A guide in the dark, a companion in the silence, a reminder that even the smallest glimmer can reshape the world. And as you drift, you sense there is more to learn. If light flickers, what path does it follow? Does it move straight, or does it bend? Does it carry weight, or is it as insubstantial as shadow? These questions are waiting, shimmering at the edge of thought. You will follow them soon. You close this chapter with the image of a single flame in endless night. Yet in your mind you wonder, if light begins with a flicker, how does it travel? What path does radiance choose across the silence of space? The straight path of radiance. You picture light as a traveler on an endless road. It moves in straight lines, unwavering, crossing the spaces of the universe. Through simple metaphors, the chapter explains waves, particles, and the duality of light. It shows how light carries both rhythm and weightlessness, like a cosmic breath. You leave behind the flicker in the dark and begin to follow it. The flame, the spark, the shimmer of starlight, all seem to trace a path, an invisible thread cutting through space. Light does not wander aimlessly, it travels with certainty. It moves as if it knows where it is going, as if it carries a compass written into the laws of the universe. You imagine light as a traveler on an endless road, silent and tireless. No curves, no detours, no hesitation. It chooses the straight line, always the shortest distance between 2 points. This is one of its simplest truths. In the stillness of space, light moves straight. You can picture it as an arrow, precise and unwavering, crossing the cosmos with quiet determination. And yet this simple straightness is already extraordinary. Consider what it means for you here on Earth. Every sunrise, the golden light that touches your skin has traveled across empty space in a line so true it arrives in 8 minutes and 20 seconds from the sun, never pausing, never faltering. That beam of light has passed through nothingness, no air, no road, no medium, and yet it has remained whole, unbroken. It is easy to take this for granted, to let the morning pass without wonder. But pause and let yourself feel the strangeness. Something immaterial, something without mass, moves with perfect reliability across millions of kilometers. That is the path you are tracing tonight. But if light is a traveler, what form does it take on its journey? Is it a wave like ripples spreading across a pond? Or is it a particle like tiny sparks thrown from a fire? For centuries no one knew. The answer seemed to shift depending on how you looked at it, like a dream that changes when you try to hold it still. Imagine first the wave. It is easy to see when you picture sunlight through a prism broken into colors. Those colors, red, blue, violet, are not fragments of the light, but waves of different lengths. Red stretches long, like a slow tide rolling onto the shore. Blue ripples shorter, quicker, like a delicate vibration. Together they create the visible spectrum, the rainbow your eyes can see. Beyond it, other waves stretch further still, ultraviolet, infrared, radio, gamma, all invisible, yet all traveling in the same straight path. To think of light as a wave is soothing. It carries rhythm, it carries music. You can imagine the universe filled with an ocean of invisible waves, gently crossing one another without collision. Light becomes not just a path, but a song. And yet, the wave is not the whole story. Sometimes light acts as if it is made of particles, little packets discrete and indivisible. These are photons, the smallest carriers of light. A photon is not spread out like a wave, but contained like a single drop of energy. In experiments, photons behave like sparks, striking metal, releasing electrons, showing their presence as something you can count one by one. It seems impossible. How can light be both? How can it be a smooth wave and a tiny particle at once? But this is its nature. Light refuses to choose a single form. It is a reminder that reality is not always simple, not always comfortable. Sometimes truth is not either or, but both and. You can rest in that thought. It does not need to be solved tonight. It can simply be held like a stone in your hand, solid but still mysterious. As you drift with this idea, you begin to notice how this duality makes light both delicate and powerful. As a wave, it spreads, it bends, it dances through prisms and lenses. As a particle, it strikes, it energizes, it transfers momentum. Light does not just illuminate, it acts. It pushes solar sails in the emptiness of space. It triggers growth in plants by starting the quiet alchemy of photosynthesis. It even touches your own skin, telling your cells to produce vitamin D. Think of the intimacy in that. Beams of sunlight, made of countless photons, touching your body one by one, whispering chemical instructions into your skin. At the same time, waves of color pass through your eyes, signaling to your brain the difference between morning and night. You are not just surrounded by light, you are written into its story. And still, through all this complexity, the path of light remains straight. Even as waves ripple and particles spark, the direction is unwavering. Only when light meets another influence, a mirror, a lens, a gravitational field, does it bend. In the absence of these, it travels in a perfect line. It is the simplest metaphor of clarity, a straight path across endless silence. You might wonder why. Why does light travel this way? Why does it not meander like smoke or swirl like wind? The answer is hidden in the laws of geometry and the fabric of space itself. In the emptiness of the cosmos, the shortest path is the only path. Light cannot waste time. It has no mechanism for delay. It is a messenger that must move forward, and forward means straight. This truth brings comfort. You can rely on light. It is constant, faithful, unerring. When you gaze at the stars, you know the light has crossed distances impossible to imagine, yet still arrived to meet your eyes. Each photon follows the same rule, the same path. There is harmony in that, and perhaps as you rest you can see in it a metaphor for your own journey. Life often feels curved, tangled, uncertain. But light reminds you there is also a path that is simple, direct, honest, unbroken. A reminder that even across vast distances, even through silence, there is a way forward. Still, the story of light is not finished. Its straightness leads to a deeper truth: speed. Light does not only travel in a direction, it travels with a pace, a constant rhythm that defines time itself. If you follow the straight path long enough, you will realize it is more than a line in space. It is the measure of the universe's heartbeat. And so you are left with a quiet question, hovering like a star at the edge of thought. If light always moves straight, how fast does it go? What is the pace of this cosmic traveler? You will follow that thought soon. You imagine a road stretching endlessly forward, light gliding straight upon it. Yet you wonder, not just about where it goes, but how swiftly. How fast does this traveler of radiance truly move? The cosmic speedometer. Every traveler has a pace, and light has the fastest known. Here you imagine a universe with its own speedometer, its dial fixed at 299,792 kilometers per second. The chapter softly explains how scientists measured this speed and why it never changes. You drift into the thought that light's pace is not just fast, it is fundamental. You have followed the path of light, straight and unwavering. Now, as you continue to imagine this radiant traveler, another question appears. Not only where does it go, but how fast? Every journey has a pace. Every movement, whether slow or quick, is measured by time. And light, this most faithful of travelers, has a speed unlike anything else you know. Imagine for a moment a cosmic speedometer, not the dial of a car, but a vast universal gauge. Its needle points to one value, never trembling, never shifting. That number is 299,792 kilometers per second, or, if you prefer, about 186,000 miles every single second. It is a number so large it becomes almost meaningless. You cannot feel it in your body the way you can feel the speed of walking or running. It escapes direct experience, and yet it defines experience itself. To grasp it, you must compare. Picture yourself running, swift and light-footed, perhaps reaching 10 kilometers per hour. A car carries you faster, 100 kilometers per hour, the air rushing past. A jet slices the sky at nearly 900 kilometers per hour, carrying you across continents. But light, in that single second, crosses 300,000 kilometers. In that single second, it could circle Earth nearly 8 times. It could leap from the Earth to the Moon in just over 1 second. From the sun to your eyes, it takes only 8 minutes and 20 seconds, and yet light is not simply fast. Speed, after all, is relative. You measure running compared to the ground, a plane compared to the air. But light speed is different. No matter how you move, no matter where you are, the speed of light does not change. It is fixed, absolute, unbending. It is the universal limit. But how do we know this? How did humanity discover this extraordinary truth? You can trace the story back through centuries of curiosity. In the 1600s, long before electricity filled the world, scientists still wondered, is the speed of light infinite? Does it arrive instantly, or does it take time? Galileo tried to test this with lanterns. He and a companion stood on distant hillsides. One would cover his lantern, then uncover it, while the other tried to see if there was a delay. But human eyes, human reaction times were too slow. To Galileo, light seemed immediate, beyond his reach to measure. It took the stars themselves to reveal the secret. In 1676, the Danish astronomer Ole Rømer observed Jupiter and its moon Io. Io orbited Jupiter like clockwork, slipping into shadow at precise intervals. But sometimes its disappearance came later than expected, sometimes earlier. Rømer noticed the timing shifted depending on whether Earth was moving toward Jupiter or away from it in its orbit. The explanation: light was not instantaneous. It had a finite speed, and the vastness of Earth's orbit revealed the delay. His numbers were not perfect, but the idea was clear. Light takes time. Centuries passed and measurements grew more precise. In the 19th century, experiments on Earth using rotating mirrors and clever apparatus refined the value. In the 20th century, as physics turned to electricity, magnetism, and relativity, the number solidified. Today, it is known with such certainty that it is not merely measured, it is defined. The meter itself, the standard of distance, is now fixed by the speed of light. It is the ruler by which the universe is measured. And so the cosmic speedometer holds steady. 299,792 kilometers per second. But there is something even more astonishing. This speed never changes. Imagine driving a car. If you run beside it, the car appears slower. If you run toward it, it appears faster. But with light, no matter how you move, it greets you at the same pace. Whether you rush toward it or away, the number is the same. It is not the light that changes, it is space and time themselves that adjust to protect its constancy. This is the foundation upon which Einstein built his vision of relativity. Light, unchanging in speed, demands that your sense of time, your measure of distance, must bend instead. Clocks tick differently. Lengths contract. Reality itself warps so that the speedometer needle stays fixed. But linger here, before diving deeper. Let yourself sit with the strangeness. The universe, vast and unknowable, holds to a single number. Everywhere you look, every photon, every beam, every star's shimmer obeys the same law. You could be standing on Earth or on a planet in another galaxy, and still the speed would be the same. It is not just a rule of light, it is a rule of existence. And you feel the quiet comfort of this. In a world where so much changes, where so much feels uncertain, here is a constancy, here is a rhythm you can trust. Light's speed is like a heartbeat, too fast to hear, yet steady, unwavering, eternal. You might imagine it not as a number, but as a boundary. Nothing can go faster. No information, no signal, no object with mass can exceed it. It is as if the universe itself has drawn a line in the sand and said, "This far, no farther." The speed of light is not just a measure, it is a limit. And limits, though they can feel restrictive, also create order. Without them, chaos would reign. With them, meaning emerges. If light had infinite speed, the universe would be flat, instantaneous, stripped of distance. There would be no delay, no sequence, no history. But because light takes time, you live in a universe with story. Events unfold one after another. You see the past in the stars. You feel the present in the sunlight. You imagine the future as beams still on their way. This delay, this rhythm is why you can wonder at all. It gives you perspective. It makes the night sky a memory book, not just a ceiling. It makes dawn something to anticipate, not something already present. Light's finite speed weaves time into experience. As you breathe slowly, you may sense how deeply this connects to you. Every photon that touches you tonight has traveled. It has crossed space with perfect loyalty to this law. Some have come from a lamp beside you, arriving almost instantly. Others may have come from stars, their journey lasting centuries. And still they move at the same pace, always the same. The cosmic speedometer, fixed and unyielding, becomes not just a scientific fact but a meditation. You can picture the dial glowing in the dark of the universe, its needle locked. Not rushing, not hesitating, simply steady. A reminder that beneath all change there is something unchanging. Beneath all motion there is order. And yet you sense this constancy has consequences. If light always travels at this speed, then what happens when you try to catch up? What happens if you chase it, as Einstein once imagined? Does time bend? Do distances shrink? Does reality itself shift to protect the speed of light? These questions linger softly, like stars at the edge of vision. You do not need the answers yet. It is enough to know that the cosmic speedometer is real, that its needle does not waver, that its truth reshapes everything you thought you knew about time and space. You drift into the thought that light speed is not only about swiftness, it is about the very structure of the universe, the silent law that holds everything together. And tomorrow or the next moment, you will step into the mind of Einstein, who dared to imagine chasing light, and discovered what time and space must do to keep that cosmic speedometer steady. You rest with the image of the cosmic speedometer, its needle fixed in eternity. But in the distance another question arises. If the speed never changes, what must happen to time and space themselves to make room for this constancy? Einstein's gentle puzzle. You step into the quiet mind of Albert Einstein, who wondered about chasing a beam of light. The thought unfolds like a dream, simple but world-changing. This chapter explores special relativity in soft imagery, as a dance of time and space. Light becomes the anchor around which clocks and rulers bend. You have followed light's path straight and swift, and you have looked upon the cosmic speedometer that never shifts its needle. Now the story pauses at the doorway of one man's imagination, a mind that dared to ask a question so simple, yet so profound, that it reshaped everything. The year is 1895. A young student, only 16 years old, walks home from school in Switzerland. His name is Albert Einstein. His grades are uneven. His teachers consider him distracted, a dreamer. But his mind drifts toward a puzzle, a thought experiment that will become the cornerstone of modern physics. He asks himself, what would it be like to chase a beam of light? The question seems almost childlike in its simplicity. You can imagine yourself wondering the same thing as a child, running after a flashlight beam across a wall or trying to catch the glow of the sun's reflection on water. If you could move fast enough, could you ever run alongside the beam? Could you freeze it in place, watching the light wave still, motionless, like a frozen ripple in the air? Einstein turned this simple wondering into a lifelong meditation. If light always moves at the same speed, no matter how fast you run, then you can never catch it. The universe would not allow you to glide beside a frozen wave. Something else must give way instead. And so the gentle puzzle took shape. If the speed of light is fixed, then time and space themselves must adjust to protect it. They are not rigid, not absolute. They are soft, elastic, willing to bend. To hold this thought is to enter a dream. Imagine time, which you usually picture as steady, seconds ticking evenly, one after the other. Now imagine it stretching, slowing, depending on how you move. Imagine a clock carried by a speeding traveler, ticking more slowly than one resting on your desk. The faster you go, the slower your time runs, as if motion itself tugs at the fabric of duration. Einstein called this time dilation. But you do not need the name, you only need the image. Two twins, one who stays on Earth, one who journeys near the speed of light. When they meet again, the traveling twin has aged less. Time has passed more slowly for the one who chased the light. Now think of space. Distances, too, are not absolute. A ruler shrinks when carried near light speed. The faster you travel, the shorter lengths become in the direction of motion. This is length contraction, another adjustment made to preserve the constancy of light. It feels impossible, yet it is real. Countless experiments have confirmed it. Particles moving near the speed of light decay more slowly, living longer than they would at rest. The universe bends its rules for them, protecting light's unchanging pace. But Einstein did not stop at clocks and rulers. He saw that if space and time both bend, they are not separate at all. They are woven together, threads of a single fabric, space-time. You cannot speak of one without the other. When you move through space, you also move through time. The two are linked, inseparable, dancing together around the steady rhythm of light. Picture this fabric as a great invisible cloth stretched across the cosmos. Light traces its straight paths upon it, but if the fabric bends, light's path bends too. This is why starlight curves around the sun, why galaxies act as lenses, bending the images of more distant galaxies into rings and arcs. Light does not resist the fabric, it follows it faithfully. For you, resting here, this is more than theory. It is a meditation on reality itself. The seconds you feel ticking, the distances you measure, are not fixed. They are shaped by motion, by gravity, by light's constancy. You live not in a rigid world, but in one that flexes gently, invisibly around every movement. And perhaps as you breathe, you sense the quiet beauty of this. It means that reality is not brittle. It bends to preserve harmony. It allows light to remain constant, and in doing so, it weaves a universe of relativity. Einstein's gentle puzzle was not solved overnight. He wrestled with it, refining, questioning, building. In 1905, at the age of 26, he published the paper that became known as the special theory of relativity. It was not filled with grand declarations, but with quiet reasoning, like stepping stones across a river. Yet those stones carried the world across a chasm of understanding. The puzzle revealed a new vision of reality. Time is not universal, space is not absolute, motion is relative, and all of it bends around the speed of light. Suddenly the universe was not a stage upon which events played out, but a participant in the drama. The stage itself shifted, tilted, flowed. And so what began as a boy's question, chasing light across a schoolyard sky, became the foundation of modern physics. Tonight, as you rest, you can join him in that wondering. Imagine yourself running beside a beam, never catching it. Imagine time slowing, distances shrinking, as the universe protects the law of light. Feel the strangeness of it, but also its serenity. This is not chaos, it is balance, and balance is what helps you drift, knowing that even when reality bends, it bends with purpose, with harmony. Knowing that the puzzle of light is not a contradiction, but an invitation to see differently. Einstein's gentle puzzle carries you further still. For if light bends time and space, then what of gravity? What of the great weights of stars and planets pressing into the fabric? If space-time is pliable, what happens when it is curved by mass itself? That question is waiting in the distance, like a glimmer beyond the horizon. But before you reach it, you will linger in the slow unfolding of time, in the way light itself stretches it. You will feel what it means for seconds to change pace, for clocks to lose their universality, for motion to alter the very rhythm of being. The flicker in the dark has become a straight path. The straight path has revealed its pace, and now the pace has led you to a puzzle that shows the universe is far softer, more flexible, more mysterious than you once believed. You close your eyes and imagine Einstein, not as an icon, but as a boy staring at the sky, letting a simple question reshape the world. His puzzle is now your meditation, a quiet rhythm in your mind, a bridge to the next chapter. You rest in the thought of a boy chasing light, time and space, bending gently to protect its speed, and you wonder if time itself can stretch and slow. What does it feel like to live within that slow river of duration? Time's slow stretch. You feel time like a fabric, loose and flowing. Near the speed of light it stretches, softens and slows. This chapter introduces time dilation through gentle metaphors, trains, rivers and drifting clouds. The listener imagines their heartbeat moving slower as light's limit approaches. You rest in Einstein's puzzle, letting the thought of chasing light ripple through your mind. And now you drift into the heart of what that puzzle revealed. Time itself is not fixed. It bends, it stretches, it flows differently depending on how you move. Time has always felt like a river to you, steady and even, carrying all things forward. Seconds tick like drops falling one after another. Minutes pass like ripples, hours like waves. You assume the river runs the same for everyone, that your clock and mine, your heartbeat and mine, beat in rhythm. But near the speed of light, this is no longer true. The river does not keep a single pace. It stretches for some, compresses for others, and suddenly time itself becomes relative. This soft bending of time is called time dilation. But the name is less important than the feeling. Imagine standing on a platform while a train rushes past. Inside the train, a passenger drops a ball of light between two mirrors, bouncing up and down like a heartbeat of radiance. To the passenger, the light moves straight up and down. But to you on the platform, the train is moving, and so the light's path is diagonal, longer. For both of you, light must still move at the same speed. The only way for this to be true is for time itself to stretch inside the train. The passenger's seconds tick more slowly so that the light keeps pace with its cosmic law. This is not a trick of perspective. It is reality. Moving faster means living slower. A traveler near light speed feels normal within their own body, their heart beating, their breath flowing. But to someone watching, that heart beats more slowly, that breath lasts longer, that clock ticks with delay. And you wonder, what does it feel like inside the stretch of time? Imagine yourself aboard that rushing train or sailing on a beam of light itself. To you, nothing feels strange. You speak, you move, you breathe. Yet outside, the world has rushed ahead. Your seconds are longer than theirs. Your hour is not their hour. It is as if you are cradled in a slower stream, protected, while the larger river flows past. This is not just theory, it has been measured. Astronauts in orbit experience time dilation, tiny but real. Their clocks tick just slightly differently than those on Earth. Particles in accelerators, moving near light speed, live longer than they should. Their lifetimes stretch, extended by their incredible velocity. Again and again, experiments confirm the truth. Time stretches to protect light's constancy. Think of the intimacy of this law. Time is not a single cloth draped across all things. It is woven into each path, each journey, each velocity. Your own heartbeat is written into the movement of the cosmos. The faster you go, the more gently it beats against the universe's law. It is humbling. The seconds you feel slipping past are not universal. They are yours and yours alone, shaped by your motion through space. Time does not belong to everyone in the same way. It belongs to you uniquely, quietly, like your breath, like your pulse. But what does this mean for your imagination? Picture a pair of twins. One stays on Earth, the other boards a starship, accelerates to near light speed, and travels the cosmos. To the traveling twin, perhaps only a few years pass. But when they return, they find their sibling older, gray, wrinkled, decades gone. Time has not been stolen. It has simply flowed differently for each. This thought, sometimes called the twin paradox, is not a contradiction. It is the natural rhythm of relativity. Time stretches for those who chase the light more closely. The universe bends duration to keep light steady, and the result is a gentle dissonance. Two clocks, two bodies, two lives, each carrying its own pace. And as you rest here listening, you may feel this not as something frightening, but as something calming. Time is not rigid, it is not brittle, it is soft. It can bend, and in its bending there is room. Room for wonder, room for possibility, room for the universe to harmonize its laws. You can feel it in your breath now. Each inhale, each exhale is a rhythm. Imagine it slowing, stretched across the silence of space. Imagine your heartbeat, not hurried, but softened, elongated, like a drum that beats more slowly in the stillness. To live near the speed of light would be to live in slow motion, your body a poem stretched across eternity. And yet, you do not need to travel to feel this. Even here on Earth, time stretches in subtle ways. In the presence of gravity, in the pull of planets and stars, it bends. In satellites above you, clocks tick differently than those in your hand. Engineers must correct them, or GPS would falter. Relativity, time's gentle stretch, is not only cosmic but practical, woven quietly into your everyday life. It changes how you see the sky. The stars you watch are not only distant in space but distant in time. Their light began long ago, and the seconds it took to reach you are measured not only by speed but by the bending fabric of the universe. You are not just looking out, you are looking back. Perhaps you find comfort in this. Time is not absolute, not harsh, but pliable. It is not a rigid cage, but a soft river, changing pace as needed, flowing differently for each traveler. Your life then is not trapped in a single measure. It is unique, carried in its own current, no less real than any other. Einstein's puzzle revealed that time is not the same for all, but it is still connected. The universe holds the harmony together, ensuring that each stretched second still belongs to the same music. It is as if all of existence is an orchestra, each instrument with its own tempo, yet all playing in time with the conductor, the speed of light. As you drift further into thought, you might imagine yourself as one of those instruments, your tempo slower or faster depending on your journey. But always you remain part of the music, always your rhythm belongs to the whole. This soft truth leads you toward another mystery. If time can stretch, if clocks can slow, what of the fabric of space itself? If seconds can bend, can distances bend too? Can gravity, weight and mass pull not just on matter, but on the very threads of space-time? That question lingers, waiting at the edge of thought. The flicker in the dark became a straight path. The straight path revealed its pace. The pace became a puzzle. The puzzle stretched time, and now the stretch whispers of weight and pull, of gravity's invisible hand. You breathe in the slow rhythm of stretched time, feeling your heartbeat softened into the silence. And you wonder, if time can bend, what of space itself? What happens when light meets the pull of gravity? The weight of nothing light is massless, yet it carries momentum like wind-moving sails. Here photons are explored, packets of energy moving forever without rest. The chapter softly reveals why something with no rest mass can still shape the world. It is a meditation on presence without weight, influence without form. You have felt time stretch, slow, and soften near the speed of light. And now another question flickers into view. If light moves so faithfully, carrying rhythm across space, what is it made of? Does it have weight? Does it carry substance? Or is it nothing more than a ghost, immaterial and passing? The truth is delicate. Light has no rest mass. A photon, the smallest packet of light, weighs nothing. If you tried to place it on a scale, the needle would not move. If you tried to hold it in your hand, you would grasp only emptiness. Light is weightless, without bulk, without rest. And yet this nothing changes everything. Imagine the wind. You cannot see it. You cannot hold it. Yet you feel it push against your skin, fill the sails of a ship, bend the branches of trees. Light too carries momentum. Though it has no mass, it still has motion, and motion has power. When light touches matter, it can push it, nudge it, shift it ever so slightly. This is radiation pressure, the push of photons. It may sound faint, too weak to matter. But in the vast silence of space, even the softest push adds up. Scientists dream of solar sails, vast sheets stretched across the void, catching sunlight the way a sailboat catches wind. A starship, driven not by engines but by photons, each particle of light, weightless on its own, becomes part of a tide strong enough to carry a vessel between the stars. So light is a paradox, without mass, yet with influence, empty yet powerful. It exists as energy, pure and simple, and energy itself is substance. You can picture photons as tiny messengers. Each one is indivisible, carrying a single quanta of energy. Their journey never ends because without rest mass they cannot stop. A stone can sit still, a bird can land, but a photon has no such choice. It is born moving, and it will move until it is absorbed. It is like an arrow that can never fall short, only strike or vanish. Think of the light from the sun. Every photon streaming down was born in the nuclear heart of a star, where hydrogen fuses into helium and energy bursts free. That photon began as energy released deep within the sun's core. It bounced, scattered, delayed for thousands of years within the star's dense plasma. And then, at last, it escaped into open space, moving outward at the universal pace, weightless and unstoppable. 8 minutes later, it touched your skin. A journey across 150 million kilometers ended in a warm breath of light upon your face. Without mass, light cannot rest. Without mass, it cannot decay. And so the photons from distant galaxies emitted billions of years ago are still traveling now, still arriving at your eyes tonight. They are ancient messengers carrying stories of the early universe, weightless but eternal. This absence of mass also means that light defines the boundary of possibility. Anything with mass, no matter how small, requires energy to move and infinite energy to reach the speed of light. It cannot be done. Light alone moves at that pace, not because it is heavy, but because it is not heavy at all. It is the one traveler free from the burden of rest. And yet, though free from weight, light still leaves fingerprints on the universe. When a photon strikes an electron, it can knock it loose. The photoelectric effect. When countless photons touch a surface, they can warm it, energize it, shift its state. Life itself depends on this. Plants take in sunlight, absorb its photons, and begin photosynthesis, transforming light's energy into sugars, the building blocks of growth. You too depend on light, your body using it to produce vitamins, to set your circadian rhythms, to anchor your days and nights. Weightless but essential, invisible in form, but everywhere in effect. You may find comfort in this paradox. It whispers a lesson. Presence does not require heaviness. Influence does not require mass. Even the smallest, lightest thing can change the world. Think of your own life. The moments that alter you most are often not heavy or obvious. They are quiet glances, brief words, gentle touches, weightless but powerful. Just like photons, they carry energy without bulk, momentum without mass. They reshape you without needing to be measured. In this way, light is a mirror of the intangible in your own existence. Memory, thought, love, none can be weighed, yet all leave marks, pushing you forward, changing your course. Light is the science of weightless influence, but also the poetry of unseen presence. And still, though photons are massless, they are not immune to gravity. Here lies the next mystery, waiting in the silence. If light weighs nothing, why does it bend? Why do stars curve its path? Why does gravity hold sway over it? Why does the universe's fabric still cradle it? You are left with this soft question, unhurried, unresolved. Light, the weightless traveler, carries momentum across eternity. But even it must bow to the great invisible hand that bends the cosmos. You drift with the paradox of light, weightless yet powerful presence without mass. And you wonder, if even nothing can be bent, what does gravity truly mean for the path of light? Gravity's invisible grip. Though light has no weight, it bows to the curves of space. Einstein's relativity bends starlight around massive suns. You imagine the night sky as a lens, stars gently shifted in their positions. The listener is lulled into the wonder of gravity and light in harmony. You rest with the paradox of light, weightless yet influential, without rest mass but filled with momentum. Now another mystery unfolds. If light has no weight, how can it still be bent? How can it be guided by the unseen hand of gravity? For centuries, gravity was understood as a pull. Newton pictured it as a force, like an invisible string tying objects together. The Earth pulls on the moon, keeping it in orbit. The sun pulls on Earth, holding it close across the empty dark. A stone falls because Earth pulls it downward, simple, direct, clear. But how could something weightless, like light, feel this pull? If photons carry no mass, what string could gravity tug on? Newton's view left the question unanswered. The mystery lingered until Einstein came with his quiet puzzle, unfolding into a new vision. Gravity is not a force at all. It is the shape of space itself. Here you pause, letting this thought ripple gently through your mind. Imagine space and time woven together as a fabric, soft, pliable, stretching across the cosmos. Planets and stars press into this fabric like stones on a sheet, creating curves and dips. Objects do not fall because they are tugged, but because they follow the curves in the fabric. The Earth does not orbit the sun because it is pulled, but because it moves along a curved path in the sun's warped space-time. And light, though weightless, follows the same rule. It cannot resist the shape of the fabric it moves across. A photon does not need mass to bend, it only needs to remain faithful to the geometry beneath it. Picture starlight passing near the sun. In Newton's universe, the rays would glide straight past untouched by gravity. But in Einstein's vision, the sun presses into the fabric, creating a well, a curve. Light skims the edge of that well, its straight path bent into an arc. To you, standing on Earth, the star's position in the sky appears shifted, moved slightly from where it truly is. This is not speculation. In 1919, an eclipse covered the sun, and astronomers measured the positions of stars near its darkened edge. Their light bent, exactly as Einstein predicted. The news spread across the world. A gentle puzzle had become proof. Space and time are pliable, gravity is geometry, and even light bows to its invisible grip. Let yourself feel the wonder of this. The night sky you see is not fixed. Each beam of starlight bends on its way to you, shifted by the curves of planets, stars, and galaxies. You are never looking directly at what is there, but at a softened image refracted by the universe itself. The cosmos is a lens, reshaping vision with every glance, and the effect grows greater with mass. Imagine a galaxy bending the light of another galaxy behind it. The background light does not vanish. It wraps, it curves, it stretches into arcs and halos. Astronomers call this gravitational lensing. Entire clusters of galaxies become mirrors and magnifying glasses, showing us what lies far beyond. Through these distortions, humans have seen deeper into the universe than otherwise possible, glimpsing galaxies billions of light years away. You can picture this lensing as a cosmic mirage. Just as heat bends light on a hot road, making shimmering illusions, gravity bends light across the vastness of space, making halos and doubles of distant stars. But here, the mirage is not an illusion. It is truth, revealed in a new shape. It is humbling. Light, so swift, so constant, cannot resist the invisible curves of space-time. It travels faithfully along straight lines, yet straight lines themselves are curved when the fabric bends. Light does not break its law, it keeps to its path, but the path itself is not what you once thought. And what of you, listening now? You too are bound in this geometry. Your feet press into Earth's curve. Your time ticks more slowly in gravity's embrace. The photons entering your eyes tonight have bent, shifted, danced through the contours of space-time before they reached you. Every view you hold of the cosmos is shaped by gravity's invisible hand. You may find comfort in this thought. The universe is not harsh but curved, not rigid but soft, not demanding but guiding. Objects, stars, and even light are not pulled violently, but gently steered by the fabric that holds all things. And so gravity becomes not a chain, but a cradle. It holds planets in orbit like marbles in a bowl. It holds you on Earth not with a tug, but with a gentle slope beneath your feet. It bends light not with force, but with guidance. Perhaps this image soothes you, the universe as fabric, gravity as curves, light as thread gliding across, a cosmic loom weaving patterns that only appear when you step back and look across the tapestry. And yet the softness has its depth, for gravity is also the shaper of destiny. It is why stars are born and why they collapse. It is why galaxies swirl and why black holes swallow even light. Gravity's grip extends everywhere, holding the story together. But stay for a moment with the gentler side. Imagine starlight bending softly around the sun, the arc invisible until an eclipse reveals it. Imagine galaxies as lenses, magnifying the distant past. Imagine yourself as part of this same fabric, resting not on a surface but within a curve. And as you drift into this image, another truth emerges. If gravity bends light, then even the fastest traveler is not entirely free. The cosmic speed limit remains, but its path is shaped by space-time. Light's constancy does not vanish, it adapts. Its speed does not falter, but its direction bends. The law remains steady, but the stage upon which it plays is flexible. Here lies a balance, light as constant, gravity as guiding. Neither defeats the other. Together they weave the universe you see. And so you close this chapter with a gentle realization. The night sky is not fixed above you, but a shifting, bending story. Every star is where it was, and yet not where it appears. Every photon has bowed along its journey, and you, gazing upward, are part of this same curved, pliable cosmos. You rest in the thought of gravity's invisible grip, bending even weightless light. And you wonder, if gravity can shape light's path, what greater law does light itself uphold, the law that no traveler can ever surpass? The cosmic speed limit. Here the truth emerges, light's limit is the universe's law. Nothing with mass can reach it, no signal can outrun it. This chapter paints the universe as a quiet highway with one unbreakable rule. The speed of light is the rhythm that keeps time itself in tune. You have watched light bend beneath gravity's invisible hand, curving gently across the fabric of space-time. And now you return to a deeper truth, one that lies beneath all others. The speed of light is the ultimate limit. It is the universe's law, the one unbreakable boundary. You may be used to limits in your daily life. There are speed limits on roads, set by signs and enforced by law. There are limits to your body, how fast you can run, how long you can stay awake, how far you can stretch before exhaustion. These limits feel negotiable, sometimes breakable, sometimes pushed. But the speed of light is not like this. It is not a rule written on a sign. It is not enforced by punishment. It is woven into the fabric of reality. Imagine the universe as a great quiet highway. Countless travelers move along it. People, particles, planets, stars. Each has its pace, from the slow drift of dust to the swift motion of cosmic rays. But on this highway there is one absolute limit. No traveler, no matter how much energy it gathers, can go faster than light. The speed limit is not marked, yet all obey. It is not a choice. It is the law of existence itself. Why is this so? To see, you must return to mass. Everything with mass resists acceleration. To make a stone move, you must push it. To make it move faster, you must push harder still. The heavier the stone, the more it resists. Now imagine giving this stone infinite speed. To accelerate mass to the speed of light would require infinite energy, a resource the universe does not provide. The closer you push an object toward light speed, the more energy it demands, and the slower its gains. It approaches but never arrives. Light alone escapes this burden, for it has no rest mass. It begins at the limit, and it never leaves. For everything else, the barrier is absolute. You can picture this with a metaphor. Imagine running toward the horizon. No matter how far or fast you run, the horizon moves with you. It is always ahead, always unreachable. The speed of light is that horizon for mass. You may approach it, but you will never touch it. And so nothing with substance can outrun light. Not a rocket, not a particle, not even the swiftest thought. Information itself is bound by this law. Messages, signals, even causality, the sequence of events that defines reality, all depend on the speed of light. The universe keeps its rhythm by this single steady pace. Think of what this means for time. If nothing can travel faster than light, then events unfold in order. Cause leads to effect. The glow of a star takes years to reach your eyes, and only then do you see it. The rule prevents chaos. Without it, the universe would lose sequence and meaning would unravel. And so the cosmic speed limit is not only about motion, it is about order. It is about the preservation of reality's story. You may find this comforting. In a world where so much feels uncertain, here is one law that does not change. No exception, no loophole. Even across billions of years, even across the vastness of galaxies, the speed of light remains the same. It is a rhythm the universe cannot break. This constancy creates boundaries you live within. Some stars are too far away for their light ever to reach you. Some corners of the universe will remain forever hidden, because their signals cannot arrive before time itself runs out. The cosmic speed limit is also a horizon, setting edges on what can be known. At first, this may seem confining. To imagine there are places you cannot see, messages you cannot receive, journeys you cannot take. But limits are also what give shape to wonder. Without boundaries, everything would blur into sameness. With them, you have perspective, longing, the quiet miracle of seeing only what light has carried to you. Think of the night sky. Each star you see obeys the limit. Its light has traveled at the fixed pace across years, centuries, millennia. The stars that are too far remain invisible, not because they do not shine, but because their light cannot cross the distance in time. What you see is framed by the cosmic speed limit, and in that frame is beauty. And within your own life, too, the limit plays a role. Your eyes see only because photons travel from object to retina at light speed. Your communications work only because signals move at this pace. Even your sense of now, this present moment, is shaped by light's rhythm. It takes time, though infinitesimal, for light to cross from what you observe into your awareness. You are always, in some sense, living a fraction of a moment behind. There is something deeply human in this. To live always slightly delayed, always receiving the world through the filter of light's journey. And yet you adapt seamlessly. Your brain weaves these delays into continuity. You never notice the gap. The cosmic speed limit is written into your perception itself. Pause with that thought. Your very experience of reality, what you call the present, is sculpted by light's unbreakable pace. Without it, the concept of now would dissolve. Past and future would blur. The speed limit does not constrain you, it creates you, and still questions linger. If nothing can go faster than light, what about the universe itself expanding? What about the quantum world, where entanglement seems to whisper across distance instantly? Are these violations or simply mysteries not yet fully understood? The answers remain gentle enigmas resting on the horizon of human knowledge. But tonight, as you listen, you do not need the answers. You only need the image, a universe kept in rhythm by an invisible rule, a cosmic highway where the fastest traveler sets the pace and all others follow. The speed of light is not only the universe's limit, it is its heartbeat. It keeps order, it defines sequence, it holds reality in harmony. And as you drift deeper into this thought, you sense the transition waiting ahead. If light carries this law, and if its speed sets the boundaries of knowledge, then what do you see when you gaze across distance? You see not the present, but the past. You see light as memory, as history arriving late. The cosmic speed limit shapes not only motion, but vision. It ensures that every star you behold is a messenger from long ago. You rest with the image of a cosmic highway, the speed of light as its unbreakable rule. And you wonder, if light takes time to arrive, are you ever truly seeing the present, or only the whispers of the past? Whispers from the past. When you see starlight, you see history arriving late. The chapter explores how light carries stories across billions of years. You imagine watching galaxies as they were, like postcards sent across cosmic distance. The listener drifts into the realization that the night sky is a memory. You rest on the cosmic highway, with light speed as its single unbreakable rule. Now you turn your gaze to the stars and a quieter truth emerges. When you see their glow, you are not seeing them as they are, but as they once were. Every beam of light is a messenger, carrying a memory across space. It travels faithfully, never faster than its limit, never slower. And because it takes time to cross the void, what you see is the past, arriving only now. The sun is your first reminder of this. Its warmth feels immediate, its brightness feels present. Yet every photon on your skin has taken 8 minutes and 20 seconds to arrive. You never see the sun as it is now, only as it was 8 minutes ago. Its present remains hidden. You live always with its past. Extend your gaze outward. The nearest stars are years away. Their light began its journey long before this moment. When it touches your eyes tonight, you are looking years into the past. Some of those stars may have changed or even ended, yet their light continues, carrying their former selves across distance. Now extend further still. The Andromeda Galaxy, faint in the night sky, is seen as it was more than 2 million years ago. Its countless stars, its spiral arms, its glowing heart, all of them are long past images. The light began when early humans first walked the Earth. Only now does it reach you. And deeper yet, telescopes reveal galaxies billions of light years away. Their light began before Earth had oceans, before life stirred, before your world existed at all. When you see them, you are not looking at neighbors. You are looking into time itself, seeing history painted across the sky. The night, then, is not just a view of space. It is a museum of memory. Each point of light is an artifact, a preserved moment, arriving late but intact. The stars are not just scattered jewels. They are postcards sent long ago, finally opened in your gaze. Pause here and let yourself feel the intimacy of this truth. When you look at the night sky, you are not simply observing. You are receiving letters from the past written in light. The stars are storytellers whispering across silence, telling you not of their present, but of what they were when the journey began. This is why astronomers sometimes say telescopes are time machines. To peer deeper is not to see farther away, but to see further back. Each layer of distance is another layer of history, stripped away like rings of time. A telescope does not just reveal what is out there, it reveals what was billions of years ago. The universe hides its present from you. What you see is never now. And perhaps there is comfort in this, that you are always surrounded by memory, always immersed in history, always living in a cosmos where the past still shines. Think of your own memories. They arrive late too. A thought comes into your mind, recalling a day years past, and for a moment you relive it, imperfect but alive. Light is memory on a cosmic scale, precise and unbroken, carrying the truth of what once was. The difference is only that your memories blur, while lights do not. Even the colors of the stars tell stories. A blue star shining hot and bright is young, burning its fuel quickly. A red star glowing softer is older, nearing the end of its life. The light carries this tale with it. When it arrives at your eyes, you can read the age of a star in its hue, as if the photons are whispering the details of a biography. And when you look at galaxies, the whispers deepen. Some reveal collisions where two galaxies merged billions of years ago. Others show bursts of creation, where stars were born in great clouds of gas. These events happened long before you were here, yet their light arrives now, as if the cosmos waits patiently for you to look. You may find yourself humbled by this thought, that the universe does not reveal itself all at once, but only gradually at the pace of light. It is as though reality chooses to tell its story slowly, gently, over aeons. You are a reader of a book still unfolding, each chapter delayed, each page written in photons. And yet, though the present remains hidden, the past is enough. The night sky you see is not less beautiful for being ancient. It is more beautiful because it connects you to time itself. You are not looking only at distance, but at history alive in your gaze. Perhaps this softens your heart, to realize that you too are light in a way. The glow of your life, your words, your choices, your presence travels outward, influencing others, sometimes only arriving much later. What you do now becomes someone else's memory in time, just as the stars become yours. The whispers of the past remind you that you are woven into the same pattern. You shine and your light travels, seen or unseen, remembered or forgotten, carried beyond the moment. And still the whispers hold another question. If light always arrives late, then is there a horizon beyond which it never arrives? Are there places forever unseen, their light unable to cross the gulf? This thought lingers, a boundary at the edge of vision, waiting to be explored. For now you rest in the quiet wonder that every night sky is a gathering of ghosts, not frightening but gentle. the ghosts of stars and galaxies, their voices carried by light, whispering not of now but of what once was. You drift with the whispers of ancient starlight, comforted by their gentle delay. And you wonder, if some light reaches you late, what of the light that can never reach you at all, hidden forever beyond the horizon of the cosmos, beyond the horizon of light? Some parts of the universe will never be seen. Their light cannot reach us. The cosmic horizon becomes a meditative edge, a border of knowledge. You reflect on what lies forever hidden beyond light's ability to travel. The chapter closes with the thought that limits give meaning to wonder. You linger with the whispers of ancient starlight, arriving late but faithful. And then a gentler question begins to stir. If every view is delayed, if every star is a memory, what about the places whose light never arrives? The universe is vast, larger than imagination, larger than comprehension. Light, though swift, though constant, can only travel so far in a given time. The age of the universe itself sets a boundary. If the cosmos has existed for about 13.8 billion years, then light has had only that long to travel. No beam, no photon can come from beyond that limit. There is a horizon drawn in the dark, a cosmic edge. This is the observable universe, the region from which light has had time to reach you since the beginning. Beyond it, more space stretches, perhaps infinite, perhaps unending. But its light is not yet here. Its story has not yet arrived. You live inside a bubble of visibility, defined not by walls, but by time. Pause and imagine this horizon. Not a sharp border, not a fence, but a soft edge in distance and in history. Beyond it, galaxies may exist, stars may blaze, but their glow will never touch your eyes. The universe is larger than your sight. You are always inside a circle of the knowable, while beyond lies the unreachable, and yet the horizon is not fixed. It grows as time flows. With every passing second, new light enters, new whispers arrive. The circle of the observable expands gently, slowly, like a ripple spreading across water. The universe reveals itself at its own pace, like a story told patiently, sentence by sentence. But here is a deeper twist. The cosmos is not still. Space itself expands, stretching between galaxies, carrying them farther apart. Some galaxies move away so quickly that their light, though traveling faithfully toward us, will never arrive. The expansion outpaces the messenger. Their stories will remain forever hidden, written in photons that can never cross the growing gulf. This creates a second horizon, even more profound. Not only what light has not yet reached us, but what light will never reach us. Beyond this, the universe lies forever unseen, its secrets beyond knowledge, not because of distance alone, but because of the nature of reality itself. Let yourself rest with that thought. The horizon is not a failure. It is a boundary written into existence, a reminder that knowledge has edges. You cannot see everything, and you do not need to. The unseen does not vanish. It simply lies beyond, shaping your wonder from afar. Think of standing at the shore of an ocean. You see the waves stretch to the horizon. You know the sea continues, but you cannot see it. It is hidden by curvature, by distance. Still, the knowledge of its presence comforts you. The horizon does not diminish the ocean, it gives it depth. So it is with the universe. You look to the night sky, and beyond the stars you see, there are others unseen. Beyond the galaxies captured by telescopes, there are more galaxies, uncountable, invisible forever. Their hiddenness does not make them less real. It makes the cosmos richer, more mysterious, more profound. And perhaps you find something personal in this. Your own life has horizons, things you cannot see, cannot know, cannot predict. Futures hidden, pasts obscured, possibilities just beyond reach. But the horizon does not erase them. It shapes your journey. It gives meaning to discovery. To live is to stand at the edge of the knowable, always aware of what lies beyond. Astronomers call this hidden region the unobservable universe, but you might call it the silence beyond the song, The melody of light reaches you, carrying history. But there are verses that never play, refrains that remain unheard. And in that silence is wonder, for you know there is more than you can ever see. There is also humility in this truth. No telescope, no technology, no mind can pierce beyond the horizon. Human knowledge, no matter how vast, is bounded by the speed of light and the expansion of space. To see farther would require breaking the cosmic law, and that law is unbreakable. You live within your circle of sight and always will. But is this not what gives beauty to the night sky? If everything were visible, if nothing were hidden, the universe might feel flat, emptied of mystery. Instead, the horizon invites you to dream, to imagine what lies beyond, to accept that not all things can be grasped. The hidden feeds the wonder. Think again of standing on the shore. The ocean before you is immense, but you know there is more beyond your vision. New lands, new depths, new currents. That knowledge stirs your imagination. The horizon is not an end, but a beginning. So it is with light's horizon. It is not the border of existence, only the border of perception. Beyond it galaxies are born, stars collapse, worlds spin in their orbits. You may never see them, but they are part of the whole, part of the same cosmos that cradles you here. And even as you accept this limit, you notice the paradox. Though you cannot see beyond, the horizon itself is always moving. New light arrives each day, bringing stories you could not see before. The observable expands, but the unreachable remains. It is a balance, revelation and mystery, knowledge and wonder side by side. Rest with that balance now. The horizon reminds you that science is not the conquest of all answers, but the harmony of questions and truths, of what is known and what is left unseen. To live in the cosmos is to live with mystery. And as you breathe into this thought, you feel the natural transition. If light brings you whispers from the past, and if horizons define what you may know, then perhaps the next wonder is this. How does the story of light continue in the lives it touches? How do tides, rhythms, and living beings respond to the subtle pull of light's law? That story too is waiting, shimmering just beyond the edge of your sight. You rest with the image of a horizon, gentle and unreachable, knowing it gives shape to wonder. And you wonder, if the universe has edges of sight, how does light, here and now, shape the rhythms of life within those boundaries? The future of the tides of light. The rhythm of light shapes the ocean's tides, the body's clocks, and the pulse of the earth. This chapter imagines how these rhythms continue into the far future. Light becomes both a guide and a question, marking the destiny of life. The listener reflects on how the tides of light extend beyond their own lifetime. You rest at the edge of the cosmic horizon, humbled by the thought that some light will never reach you. And yet, within the circle of what you can see, light continues to shape your life. It is not only a messenger from the past, but also a rhythm in the present, a tide that touches every living thing. Light governs the sea. You may think first of the moon when you picture tides, its gravity drawing oceans in and out. But light, too, holds sway. The cycle of day and night pushes the waters in their own rhythm, stirring currents, shaping winds, warming surfaces, feeding life in pulses. The oceans breathe with the light, opening to it, retreating from it, echoing its constancy. And light governs your body as well. Deep within you, in the folds of your brain, lies a master clock, a cluster of cells tuned to the rising and setting of the sun. This clock guides your circadian rhythm, the pattern of sleep and waking, alertness and rest. Photons enter your eyes each morning, whispering to this hidden timekeeper, "Wake now, it is day." And when light fades, the body releases melatonin, inviting you to soften, to drift. Even plants feel this rhythm. Flowers open with dawn and close with dusk. Trees measure day length to know when to grow and when to rest. Entire ecosystems depend on light's predictable return, its measured absence, its steady tides. Without it, the earth would lose its pulse. Pause here and let yourself feel this intimacy. The light that arrives from the sun is not only energy, it is schedule, rhythm, life's metronome. It tells you when to eat, when to sleep, when to rise. Its constancy is what allows living things to flourish in cycles, in harmony. But then let your thoughts stretch further into the future. What will become of these tides of light? Will they last forever, or will they fade? The sun, your closest star, will not shine eternally. In about 5 billion years, it will swell into a red giant, consuming Mercury and Venus, scorching Earth. The steady tide of daylight will falter. The rhythm that has guided life for billions of years will break. For Earth, that will be the end of its familiar song. And yet, light itself will not end. Other stars will burn, other suns will rise. Perhaps life will move outward to other worlds, carrying the memory of Earth's rhythm, but finding new schedules in alien skies. The tides of light may shift, but they will not vanish. They are written into the cosmos, wherever stars ignite. Think even farther still. Stars are not eternal. Over trillions of years, most will fade, their fuel exhausted, their fires dimmed. The universe will grow darker, its light thinning. The tides that once marked every moment will slow, weaken, and eventually dissolve into silence. And yet even in that silence, photons will remain. Light from ancient stars, stretched into long wavelengths by the expansion of the cosmos, will still drift through the void. The story of the universe will still be carried by the faintest embers of radiation, relics of creation itself. So the tides of light are both temporary and eternal. Temporary in their local rhythms, a sun that will set forever, an earth that will lose its days. Eternal in their principle, energy that moves outward endlessly, shaping what it touches until it is absorbed. You may find comfort in this paradox. It tells you that light is both fragile and enduring, both fleeting in its form and unending in its essence. Just as your own life is finite, yet the light you carry, the influence you leave, the memories you create, extends beyond you. Think of your days. Each one rises with light and ends with dark. Each is a miniature echo of the cosmic tides. You live not only within your lifetime, but within this greater rhythm, carried by the same photons that have traveled across ages. You are part of a vast continuity, your life a single note in a song sung by stars. And perhaps you sense the future more gently now. You may not live to see the fading of suns, the darkening of galaxies, the thinning of cosmic light. But you live within the tides that matter here, now. You wake with dawn. You rest with dusk. You breathe in rhythm with photons that began their journey long ago in the heart of a star. This is the gift of light. It makes the present sacred. Each sunrise is not just a beginning of a day, but the continuation of a rhythm older than humanity. Each nightfall is not just an end, but a pause in the cosmic tide, a reminder of the greater dance. And as you breathe now, slowly, you feel yourself in harmony with this rhythm. Your heart is a tide, your breath is a tide. You are not separate from light, you are one of its expressions, living within its law, carried forward by its constancy. Perhaps then the future of the tides of light is not only about distant stars and cosmic destinies, it is also about you and how you live in its rhythm. The tides will continue long after you are gone. But the meaning of them, the wonder of them, exists in how you notice them, how you let them shape your days. So when you next watch dawn break or feel starlight on your skin, you might remember this is not only the present, it is also the past and the future, joined together in light's steady rhythm. And you may close your eyes tonight with a softer thought, that the tides of light, whether in oceans, in stars, or in your own heart, are forever moving forward, carrying memory, shaping rhythm, defining wonder. And in that tide lies the promise of the next mystery, the edge of limits, the silence of horizons, the final question of what remains when even the tides fade. You rest with the rhythm of light's tides, present in your breath and in the turning of the earth. And you wonder, when even the stars fade and light itself thins, what quiet truths will remain in the darkness that follows? You and the age of light. The story of light returns to you, not distant stars or cosmic laws, but the glow within your own life. You reflect on your place in the universe, bound by the same laws that guide galaxies. Light becomes personal, memory, influence, presence. The chapter closes in stillness, with the listener held gently in the endless age of light. You have journeyed through flickers and straight paths, through speed and puzzle, through stretching time and bending gravity, through whispers of the past and horizons of the unseen. And now the story of light returns to you, not distant stars, not galaxies beyond reach, but you, here, breathing, listening, present in this moment. You are part of the age of light. Every photon that touches you has traveled faithfully, carrying memory, carrying rhythm, carrying energy. It enters your eyes, your skin, your body, and in doing so it becomes part of you. You are shaped by light in ways you cannot see but always feel. Your days are written in its rising and setting, your health is tuned to its rhythm, your emotions lift and soften in its glow. Light, which seems so distant, so cosmic, is also intimate. It is in the morning warmth on your face. It is in the gentle lamp by your bedside. It is in the glow of stars you carry in your eyes each night. The cosmic story is not only about galaxies and horizons. It is also about your life, shaped quietly by the same unbreakable laws. Pause here and let yourself imagine. When you were a child, you played in light. You chased sunbeams across the floor. You watched fireflies spark in the dark. You stared at the moon, not knowing its light was sunlight reflected back at you. Even then, without words, you felt what scientists later explained. That light is memory, that light is rhythm, that light is presence. And as you grew, you became light in your own way. Not photons, not waves, but influence. The words you speak, the gestures you give, the presence you carry, they travel outward, touching others, delayed but real, just like starlight. You may not see how far they go. You may never know what they change. But like light, your existence radiates, shaping the world beyond your sight. This is what it means to live in the age of light. To understand that you are both receiver and giver. You are lit by the cosmos and you shine into it in return. Think of memory now. Just as you look at stars and see the past, others look at you and remember. What you do becomes light in their minds, stories carried, impressions held, echoes that remain even when you move on. You are part of the night sky of someone else's life, a star they see not as you are now, but as you once were. There is beauty in this distance. You do not need to be perfect in the present. You only need to shine, however briefly, and the memory of that light will carry on. And what of the future? Light tells you that even when moments end, their influence does not vanish. A photon once born travels until absorbed. A word once spoken carries through memory. An act of kindness once given ripples outward endlessly. You may never see the final destination of your light, but it continues. Always forward, always outward, always part of the cosmic tide. The age of light is not only cosmic time, billions of years of stars shining. It is also your time, the years you are given, shaped by the same laws, moving at the same pace. You live within this fabric, no less significant than galaxies, because the story is one. Energy moving outward, shaping what it touches. And when you close your eyes at night, you do not leave this age of light. You rest within it. The photons still travel, the stars still shine, the sun still pours its radiance across the void. Light's rhythm continues, whether you are awake or dreaming. Perhaps you wonder what comes after the last star fades, when the universe grows dark, when even light seems to thin into silence. But even then, the story is not ended. The memory of light remains. The influence of light remains. You too are part of that. Your presence here, your breath, your being, written into the great unfolding. The age of light is forever because every life that touches it extends it further. And so you rest, knowing you are not apart from the cosmos, but within it, carried by the same rhythm that bends time and shapes stars. The speed of light, the bending of space-time, the whispers of ancient galaxies, all of it leads back to this quiet truth. You are part of the same story. Let yourself feel that now. Breathe slowly. Imagine each inhale as receiving light, each exhale as giving light back. You are both. You are a cycle, part of the rhythm. You do not need to solve every puzzle or see every horizon. It is enough to know that you are here, that you are shining in your own way, that you belong to the age of light. And as the journey closes, you carry with you a final image, a small flame in the vast dark, a flicker that begins the story. That flame has traveled with you through straight paths, through speed and puzzle, through time's stretch and gravity's grip, through horizons and tides. It has led you here, to yourself, to the recognition that you too are luminous. The flame is not only in the cosmos, it is in you, and it will remain carried forward in ways you may never see, just as the stars remain, shining into the night, their light still traveling long after they are gone. You drift now, carried in the age of light, knowing you are both illuminated and illuminating. And as you rest, the thought lingers, not of endings but of continuities, whispers of radiance moving ever outward, gentle, unbroken, infinite.